Finally for today, in which I'm doing my status after 2 months of a 5-month self-teaching course, is number theory. This is actually not the edition that I'm using to take the course. I'm using the 5th edition, for which I have a PDF. But I did buy the 4th edition because I like to take the book with me. Actually, we went to the beach recently, and because I'm a math nerd, I took this book and I finished reading chapter 3. This book is all right. I guess with calculus books you get a lot better quality because there are large teams, they're taught for thousands of students, and they have a lot of money and time to check. But I'm finding errors, which is actually a good thing. I mean, when you find an error in a book, it tells you that you're learning something. So one of the greatest common divisor problems, I believe, or one of the LCM problems, least common multiples, is actually wrong. I mean, when you calculate, you're like, there's no way that answers can be correct. And LCM, so least common multiples, are not very difficult calculations, especially that example that I did. So for this book, my plan is to do a quote-unquote semester with the first 7 chapters. I plan to end here, and I have read all the way to chapter 3, and I've taken notes all the way to section 3.5, but in the new edition there's actually 7 sections in chapter 3, so this is not accurate, but I do want to show the book. So yeah, the chapter 3 problems are going to take me a little time, but I did muscle my way through chapter 2 quickly, and then early chapter 3, because there is one section in here, which is section 3.4 in this old edition, but section 3.5 in the newer edition that I have, which is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, which is really factorization, which has a ton of problems. And I'm really looking forward to busting my head. The problem that I see with the problems in Rosen is that they're either like easy, or you just crank them out, or you're like, what? I wish this book had more content, had more discussion, more examples. It is really lacking in examples. I don't want the professor, the person who wrote the book, to do everything for me. But I know in Thomas and Finney, and definitely in the proofs book, both of those teachers do a much better job. Maybe because they're professional teachers, and I think this Rosen just works at Bell Labs. I don't know if Bell Labs is still around. Anyways, if it is, he's still there. And so, I don't know, maybe it's just his pedagogical style, whatever you want to call it. But there's really, I mean, there's like no middle step. There's like low steps where you can, oh yeah, that's easy. And then, boom, you got to jump through to the top steps. And then there's all these problems that are very, very hard. I mean, they're challenging, and I love hard problems, but I think the book would be served a lot better by some examples in the middle tier, a little more discussion. Some of the proofs are not well written, in my opinion. Who am I to grade? But of course, I'm taking a proofs course in which there's tons of really well written proofs, and so I guess I do have a means by which to compare. And yeah, in some cases I'll be reading a proof and there will be a sentence and I'll be like, what? Where did that come from? That sentence just doesn't read well. So this book would be helped by better writing. But even then, I still think it's a really good book. I think Rosen knows his stuff, and that's what matters. You want to learn from somebody who knows. So, yeah. And then, of course, this is the mother load of a course. This is very difficult for me, and I'm learning a lot, and I've already finished a summary of chapter 1, but I haven't gotten around to doing a summary of chapter 2. So that was chapter 1, even though I've done the lectures for chapter 2, and I've done all the problems that I felt I should do for chapter 2. Then for chapter 3, I have not even completed the lectures, and I've got a bunch of worked out problems in a notebook that I'll put on at the end. But I'm up to page 95, and I finished section 3.5, which is a fundamental theorem of arithmetic. And so it does a lot of meat in this book. Even though I criticize it, I wish it had more. It still does have a lot, and Rosen does a really good job of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. On the one hand, I say he's done a good job, and then I criticize things that I wish he had done. But I think it's a really good book. I just wish that there was some mid-tier material that I feel that the book is missing between the simple problems and the hard problems. But all the content is there. So what do I know? I'm having fun. I'm learning a lot. And this is chapter 3, and I think I'm going to do a self-test when I finish chapter 3. So unlike calculus, where I've barely begun chapter 3, and I want to give myself a test, a full test at the end of that book's chapter 3. This one I'm closer, so it could be that I end up giving myself, this is the Sieve of Eratosthenes for numbers 1 to 100. It's from the book. It's from the book. I just wanted to follow exactly what he did. I think I'm going to be able to give myself a self-test in this material around mid-November. So it looks like it's going to be early November, self-test in proofs, mid-November, self-test in number theory, and then late November, self-test in calculus. And I want to go to chapter 7 in this book. So this is the month 2 update for number theory, and I'm having a lot of fun. So, wish me luck.